Alright fellas, buckle up, because I'm about to tell you how a little OL quarter from 1991, the kind you might have tossed in a vending machine for a bag of chips, is now worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1 million. And it's not gold, it's not platinum, it's not some ancient Roman coin dug up in a castle. It's a Washington quarter. The kind George himself would be proud of. Now before you start flipping over your couch cushions or raiding the coin jar on top of the fridge, hang tight. I've got the full story, some good laughs, and even a personal tale about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a gas station hot dog. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. Let's dive into what makes the 1991 Washington quarter so special, how to know if you've got one of these $1 million gems, and how to avoid accidentally trading it for a bottle of soda. So what's the deal with the 1991 Washington quarter? You're probably thinking, that coin's not even old enough to rent a car yet. And you're right. But age ain't the only thing that makes a coin valuable. It's all about rarity, condition, errors, and a little bit of collector obsession. First things first, the P Mint mark means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. That's the one without the fancy cowboy hats, looking at you, Denver. Now normally, quarters from Philly aren't rare. In fact, they made over 570 million of these in 1991. So you might be thinking, how the heck can something so common be worth $1 million? Every so often, a few coins slip through the cracks at the mint with some wild errors. We're talking double strikes, off-center prints, missing ridges, and sometimes even a different metal composition. If you've got a 1991 quarter with one of these rare minting mistakes, especially in top-notch uncirculated condition, congratulations, you just hit the coin jackpot, but not every error coin is created equal. For a 1991 quarter to fetch that $1 million price tag, it's gotta be something truly special. Think of it like baseball cards. Sure, there's a million cards out there, but that one rookie card in mint condition? That's the one collectors lose their minds over. About 10 years ago, I was at a flea market with my cousin Ricky. You know the type, jean shorts, cargo pockets, baseball cap with sweat stains. We're digging through a box of random coins this old guy was selling. Most of it was junk. But I spotted this shiny 1991 quarter. It looked brand new, like it had never touched a soda machine or been stuck in a car ashtray. I asked the guy how much. He shrugged and said, "You can have it for $1. $1. I paid the man, thinking I just scored a cool-looking coin for my collection. Flash forward a few months, I took that quarter to a coin show just for fun. I figured maybe it'd be worth $5, 10 if I was lucky. The guy at the booth looks at it through his little magnifying glass, goes pale, and calls over 3 other dealers. They start whispering like it was the holy grail of quarters. Turns out, the quarter had a rare double die error. The lettering on Liberty was slightly doubled, and Washington's ponytail looked like it was in 3D. It was graded at near perfect condition. I didn't sell it then, still got it locked up in a safe today. But estimates say it could go for over $1 million at auction. Look closely at the lettering. Any doubling in words like Liberty or In God We Trust could mean you've got a double die error. Check the edges. Missing ridges or smooth edges could be a sign of a minting error. Examine the date and mint mark. Is everything aligned properly? If not, you might be holding a misstrike. Condition matters. Coins that haven't been circulated and look fresh from the mint are way more valuable. If it looks like it's been through the laundry 6 times and chewed by a dog, sorry, but that's not the $1 million baby. Now, don't go running to the nearest pawn shop just yet. Take your coin to a reputable dealer or send it to be professionally graded. That's where the real value gets confirmed. A graded coin with documentation can fetch way more than one without it. There are fakes out there. Some people are pretty good at making a regular quarter look special with a little wear and tear or trick photography. Don't fall for it. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. But if you really do have the real deal, you're sitting on a treasure that could change your life. You might have already spent one without knowing. Maybe that coffee you bought last Tuesday came with a side of regret. So there you have it. That plain old quarter you shoved in the cup holder of your truck could be worth $1 million if it's the right one. Crazy, huh? This is exactly why coin collecting is one of the most exciting, and sometimes hilarious, hobbies out there. One minute you're broke, the next you're rich, all because of some shiny change. Go dig through your drawers, your car, your couch cushions, and that old jar sitting in your grandpa's garage. Look for that 1991 p quarter. Who knows, you might be the next coin millionaire, and if you like this little treasure hunt story, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got way more tips, tricks, and wild coin facts coming your way. You'll learn how to spot hidden gems in your pocket change and never look at loose coins the same way again. Trust me, this is the kind of stuff your wallet will thank you for. Hey there, coin hunters and change checkers. Have you ever picked up a quarter, shrugged, and tossed it into your glove box or couch cushions without a second thought? Well, that little habit could be costing you over $1 million. Yes, I said it. A single 1983 p Washington quarter could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million today. I know what you're thinking. It's just a quarter, right? 25 cents. Not even enough to buy gum these days. But hold on tight, because by the end of this video, you're gonna be flipping through your pocket change like it's a treasure chest. Trust me, this is one of those stories you do not want to miss. Now, before we dive into the juicy details, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away what could have been the most valuable coin I ever touched. So picture this. I'm cleaning out my old coin jar, you know, the one that's been sitting under the kitchen sink since the Bush administration. I'm knee-deep in nickels, dimes, and sticky pennies from 1994. Then I spot a quarter with a date that catches my eye, 1983. I think, hey, this might be something. But I notice it's got a big ol' scratch across George Washington's face. So I do what any tired, hungry man would do after scrubbing the grout off his fingers from coin gunk. I almost tossed it in the vending machine for a Snickers, but something told me to hold on. I looked it up. And boy, am I glad I did. Let's talk about the 1983 p Washington quarter and why collectors are going absolutely bananas over this little silver-colored slice of history. That's where it was minted. Back in 1983, quarters weren't exactly rare. In fact, over 673 million of these babies were minted. So, on the surface, it doesn't sound rare at all. But here's the kicker. Most of those quarters were used, abused, and beaten up in circulation. The US Mint didn't make official mint sets that year, so finding one in excellent condition is like spotting Bigfoot riding a unicorn while holding a lottery ticket. The most valuable ones are in top-notch shape. We're talking MS 67 grade or higher. That means almost perfect, no scratches, no dull shine, no evidence it ever did time in someone's change jar. Yeah, it sold for over $1.1 million at auction. That's not a typo. Somebody actually forked over more than $1 million for a 1983 p quarter in pristine condition. Now why would someone drop that kind of cash on a coin? Simple. Rarity and condition. Most 1983 p quarters are trashed from decades of wear. So if you have one that looks like it just rolled off the mint floor, you've got something special. It's not just about the year, it's about how well the coin has survived. Like a little metallic time traveler. It gets even better. Some 1983 p quarters have what's called a spitting eagle error. Sounds weird, right? That's because it is. There's a tiny die flaw that makes it look like the eagle on the back is spitting out a line or drool. Yes, this is real. And yes, error collectors love this kind of stuff. Even minor ones with that flaw can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Let's talk strategy for a second. If you're looking to strike it rich with coins, you don't need a shovel and a map. You need your eyes, a decent magnifier, and some patience. Start by checking your quarters. Look for that 1983 date with the P mint mark. Then check the condition. Is it shiny? Smooth? Clean? Nowhere on the high points like Washington's cheek or the eagle's feathers. Then, take a peek for that crazy spitting eagle line. If it's there, you've got a coin that could be worth more than your first car. Or second. Maybe even your house if it's in amazing condition. And I can't stress this enough, most of the valuable ones are graded professionally. That means they've been sent to companies like PCGS or NGC, where they analyze every tiny detail and slap a grade on it. If you find a coin that looks promising, don't spend it. Don't scratch it. And definitely don't use it for laundry. Get it graded. It might cost you $50, but if it's the one, it'll be the best $50 you've ever spent. So, let me bring it home. That dirty old coin jar under your sink, that loose change in your cup holder, the pile of quarters you use to pay for drive-through burgers, any one of those could be hiding a 1983 Washington quarter worth $1.1 million that I'm still kicking myself for almost spending that quarter. I ended up keeping it, by the way. It wasn't $1 million one, but hey, it taught me the most important rule in coin collecting: never judge a coin by its crusty appearance. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth thousands or even millions, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm dropping tips, tricks, and coin collecting gold every week, and you don't want to miss the next treasure hiding in plain sight. Now go check your quarters. Seriously. Right now. You might just be holding $1 million between your fingers. Hey there, coin hunters and pocket change champions. Have you ever thought the loose change rattling around in your car's cup holder might just be worth more than your car? Well, today, I'm about to blow your mind with a regular Washington quarter that's secretly worth $1.2 million. That's right. $1.2 million for a quarter from 1971 with no mint mark. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions or knocking over your grandma's coin jar, stick around. Because I'm gonna walk you through what makes this quarter so valuable, how to spot it, and a little personal story that might make you think twice before spending your change on vending machine snacks. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's dive into the world of $1 million pocket change. Alright, let's set the stage here. The year was 1971. Richard Nixon was president, disco was getting ready to take over America's hips, and the Washington quarter was doing its usual thing, or so we thought. Now usually, quarters from 1971 were struck either at the Denver Mint with a little d or the San Francisco Mint with an S, mainly for proof coins. But some quarters came out with no mint mark at all. That means they were minted in Philadelphia. And normally, Philly coins don't have a mint mark, so you might be thinking, big whoop, right? Most 1971 Philadelphia quarters are just average. Nothing exciting. But every now and then, one of them comes along with some crazy die errors, perfect condition, or rare variations that make collectors absolutely drool. One such quarter, a 1971 no-mint mark Washington quarter, sold at auction for a whopping $1.2 million. That's not a typo. That's a house. That's retirement. That's 20,000 pizzas with extra cheese, first off, condition. This baby was graded at the highest level. We're talking mint state 68 or above. That's like finding a classic car in someone's barn with zero rust and plastic on the seats. Second, rarity. This wasn't just any Philly quarter. It had a unique die error that happened during production. Experts say the coin had an ultra-sharp strike, smooth fields, and that perfect cartwheel luster collectors chase like it's the holy grail. Third, demand. When a collector sees something rare, shiny, and barely touched by human hands since disco was a thing, they open their wallets. And in this case, they opened it wide. Now let me tell you a quick story. I remember one summer, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. You know, one of those never-ending projects where you find things like a bowling ball from the 70s and a stack of dusty National Geographics that smell like history and mildew. Well, we were cleaning out this old coffee tin full of change. And of course, being the coin nerd I am, I started flipping through the quarters. My uncle's rolling his eyes like, seriously? You're inspecting every coin? And I'm like, hey, laugh now, but one of these might just pay for your hip surgery. Sure enough, I pulled out a 1971 quarter with no mint mark. Now, don't get too excited, it wasn't the $1 million one. It had scratches, dents, and probably had a tough life in a dozen vending machines. But it made me realize just how easy it is to overlook something valuable. Most people see a quarter and think 25 cents. But us coin folks? We see potential. No mint mark under the date. Sharp, clean details, especially around George Washington's hair, his jawline, and the eagle's feathers on the back. Minimal wear. Like, barely touched. Look for any weird features. Double dies, off-centers, or anything that makes your quarter look different from the others, and if you think you've got a winner, don't go spending it at the laundromat. Take it to a professional coin grader or get it appraised by a reputable dealer. Some of these coins may not be worth $1 million, but even $1,000 from a quarter is a solid win. So there you have it. The 1971 no mint mark Washington quarter, a sleeper coin that could turn your pocket change into a small fortune. It's like a hidden treasure that's been hiding in plain sight for over 50 years, and remember, coins like these don't just pop up in old safes or collections. They're out there. In jars, drawers, glove compartments, maybe even in your own wallet right now. Before you rush off to check your change, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button. Because I've got more videos coming that'll teach you how to spot valuable coins, avoid common collecting mistakes, and maybe even help you build your own $1 million collection. Plus, I share real tips, real stories, and a little humor to make learning about coins actually fun. Drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin, or even just think you might have. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. Alright fellas, gather round, because I'm about to tell you how a plain old Washington quarter from 1997, the kind you might use to buy a gumball or scratch off a lottery ticket, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard me right. Not $1. Not even $100. $1 million. With an M. And a 3 on top of it. Now before you go tearing up your couch cushions and flipping your car's cup holders upside down, let me walk you through what makes this little piece of pocket change so valuable. Because trust me, it ain't just about the date. There's a whole backstory here that might just turn your next quarter into your early retirement plan, and hey, if you've got a habit of tossing your change into a jar and forgetting about it for years, this might be your lucky day. So buckle up, sit back, and let's talk about the mighty 1997 Washington quarter that's making millionaires out of coin nerds like us. Alright, so let's break this down. The 1997 Washington quarter. That little d stands for the Denver Mint. Millions of these coins were made that year. In fact, over 500 million. So why in the world is one of them worth more than a Lamborghini? It's all about the era, rarity, and the condition. Now, most 1997 quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. Maybe 30 cents if you sell it to your cousin who thinks every coin is a treasure. But there are a few special ones, and I mean special, that slipped out of the mint with crazy mistakes or were struck with unusual precision that makes collectors go bananas. We're talking about quarters that were double struck, off-center, or made with a planchet intended for another denomination. Imagine getting a quarter that's actually made of the wrong metal or has parts of two designs mashed together. That's like finding a cheeseburger with bacon inside even though you didn't order it. It's rare and deliciously valuable. Now the $1 million question. Literally. What kind of condition does a 1997 quarter need to be in to fetch $1.3 million? Mint state. We're talking about MS 68 or higher. That means the coin is in practically perfect condition. Not a scratch. Not a ding. It looks like it came fresh out of George Washington's back pocket the second it was minted. Now let me hit you with a little personal story. A few years ago, I was digging through an old box in my garage. You know the kind, half spiderwebs, half mystery. I find this dusty old tin with coins I hadn't seen since I was a kid. So I start flipping through them, not expecting much, and I spot a 1997 D quarter that looks cleaner than my truck after a full detail. I take it to a local coin guy, and he tells me, well, it's not the $1 million one, but it's worth about $50. I was like, $50? For a quarter? That's a 200-fold profit, folks. I would have done a cartwheel if I didn't have bad knees. The point is, you never know what you've got until you check. It's like fishing, most of the time you're pulling up junk, but every now and then, you hook a whopper. First, flip that quarter over. Make sure it has the D mint mark under the date. Next, check the condition. If it looks like it's been chewed by your dog, it's probably not gonna pay for your retirement. But if it's shiny, sharp, and shows zero wear, you're on to something. Lastly, look for errors. Is it off-center? Is the design misaligned? Is there a weird rim or doubling in the letters? If something looks off, that might be your golden ticket. If you think you found a gem, take it to a coin dealer or even send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've got something special. And if they say it's a high-grade mint error, you might want to call a financial advisor, and maybe your mom to tell her the good news. Now let's talk about the market. Why is someone willing to shell out over $1 million for this coin? Because coin collectors, especially the big-time ones, are always hunting for those elusive pieces that no one else has. The rarer, the better. And if you've got the cleanest, highest graded 1997 D Washington quarter in the world, you've got leverage. You've got bragging rights. You've got a ticket to a seriously fat payday. Auction houses love this stuff. You get the right coin in the right auction, and those bids go higher than gas prices in summer. There was a coin collector in Texas, true story, who made his fortune flipping rare error coins like this. He didn't start out rich. Just a guy with a magnifying glass and good lighting. Next thing you know, he's got a coin that sells for 7 figures. Boom. Check your change. Seriously. That 1997 D quarter rattling around in your car might not just be for parking meters, it could be your ticket to early retirement, a boat, or heck, even just bragging rights at Thanksgiving dinner. Coin collecting isn't just for old men with bifocals and dusty drawers full of nickels. It's a treasure hunt for anyone with eyes, patience, and a little bit of luck. You never know when you'll stumble onto something that changes your life. It might be in your junk drawer. It might be in that old jar your grandma kept by the fridge. And hey, if you enjoyed hanging out and learning something new today, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin, or if you're just starting out and want to learn the ropes. We've got plenty more videos on coins worth money and simple strategies to help you build a collection that could pay off big. Thanks for watching, keep your eyes peeled, and remember, some treasure doesn't sparkle. Sometimes, it's just hiding in plain sight with George Washington's face on it. Hey folks, let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time you looked at the change in your pocket? I mean really looked at it, like you were Indiana Jones searching for buried treasure. Well, guess what? You might be carrying around a coin that's worth more than your car. Or your house. Or your ex's house, if you're lucky. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking finds in coin collecting history, the 2000 P Maryland $quarter coin. Now this little guy right here. It was minted for everyday use. Tossed in vending machines. Stuffed in piggy banks. Forgotten in couch cushions. But one rare version of it is now worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yep, you heard that right, and trust me, you're gonna want to stick around, because not only am I gonna tell you what makes this quarter so special, but I've also got a hilarious story about how I almost spent one of these bad boys on a gas station burrito. Don't judge me. Let's start with a little background on the 2000 P Maryland State Quarter. It's part of the 50 State Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint between 1999 and 2008. The Maryland Quarter was the 7th to be released and features the dome of the Maryland State House along with the words "The Old Line State." Pretty standard, right? Nothing crazy at first glance. Some of these quarters had minting errors. And when it comes to coins, Mint errors are like hitting the jackpot. Collectors go absolutely nuts for them. Now, the one we're talking about today came out of the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P mark, and had a very special flaw. We're talking about a double die obverse, which is a fancy way of saying the front of the coin, the side with Washington's face, got stamped twice. And not just any old stamp either, it left a shadowy doubling effect on the lettering and parts of the portrait. To the untrained eye, it might look like your coin is just a little fuzzy. But to a trained collector, that's $1 million fuzz. On top of that, this particular coin is in pristine condition. Mint state 68 level. That's like coin collector heaven. It's cleaner than a hotel towel and shinier than a new phone screen. One of these quarters sold at auction for $1.4 million. $1.4 million. For something you might accidentally drop in a tip jar at a coffee shop. Imagine that barista's surprise if they ever check. How rare are these? Well, only a few of these double die errors have been found, and even fewer in top condition. So if you've got a stash of 2000 P Maryland quarters lying around, it's time to dig through them like you're panning for gold. It's 2005. I'm broke. I'm driving a beat-up Ford that sounded like it was powered by angry squirrels. I stop at this sketchy gas station in the middle of nowhere. You know the type: dim lighting, a taco roller that looks like it's been turning since the Nixon administration, and a cashier who looks like he's seen things. I grab a burrito and pull some change out of my glove box. I hand the guy a few quarters, he gives me a look, shrugs, and rings me up. Years later, when I got into coin collecting, I remembered one of those quarters had a weird double outline on it. My stomach dropped. I may have handed over $1 million coin for a burrito that tasted like regret and disappointment. But I am saying I now check every quarter before I spend it. And I avoid gas station burritos like my life depends on it. So how can you find out if your 2000 P Maryland quarter is the real deal? Look for the doubling on the word liberty and in God we trust. Check Washington's face too. If you notice a doubling effect and the coin is in near perfect condition, you might want to take it to a professional grader. Could be the best decision you ever made with loose change. Also, make sure it's really a P mint mark. Flip that coin and give it a good look. Use a magnifying glass if you need to. I use the same magnifier I once used to read the fine print on my first apartment lease. Turns out it works way better on coins. So there you have it, folks. The 2000 P Maryland quarter might look like just another coin you toss in your car's cup holder, but in reality, it could be your ticket to early retirement. Or at least a really sweet vacation. Or maybe just bragging rights forever at family cookouts. Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That little clink in your pants could be the sound of $1 million begging for attention. Now before you go dumping all your quarters into a Coinstar machine, take a second to look through them. You never know what kind of treasures are hiding right under your nose. I mean, if I had known that burrito cost me $1.4 million, I would have asked for guac and a side of financial counseling. If you like this video and you want more tips on how to spot valuable coins and make money from stuff you already own, hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button like you're trying to flatten a penny on train tracks. And don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss a chance to turn change into cash. Hey folks, gather around because today we're talking about a coin that most people probably spent on a vending machine soda, but if you've got the right one, you might be sitting on a fortune. That's right, I'm talking about the 2017 P Ellis Island quarter. Yeah, that shiny little guy that's probably jingling around in your glove compartment could be worth up to $1.5 million. You heard me right. $1.5 million for a quarter. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy's lost his marbles. But trust me, I haven't. I lost those back in 1997 when I traded a rare wheat penny for a bag of beef jerky and instantly regretted it. But this story, this coin, this money, it's real, and I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about it. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking your change like it's lottery tickets. So first things first, the Ellis Island quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, a collection that ran from 2010 to 2021. These quarters feature iconic national parks and landmarks, and in 2017, one of the designs honored Ellis Island in New Jersey, a place with deep roots in American immigration history. Now, the specific quarter we're talking about is the 2017 P. Ellis Island quarter. That little P stands for Philadelphia, which is where it was minted. Not every 2017 P. Ellis Island quarter is worth a small fortune. No sir. Most of them are worth, well, exactly 25 cents. Maybe a little more if they're in pristine condition. But we're talking about a very special variety that has some errors, quirks, or just downright rare qualities that make collectors lose their minds and open their wallets. Great question. The one that's worth the big bucks has a combination of rare features. We're talking about an extremely low mintage error, a double die obverse, possible off-center strike, and in some cases, an amazing high-grade condition straight from an original mint roll that was never touched by grubby hands. Collectors love these kinds of coins. It's like the holy grail when you combine an error with rarity and perfect preservation. It's not just about having a coin with a goof-up, it's about that goof-up being so rare and in such good shape that it becomes one-of-a-kind or nearly so. Answer: hardcore collectors, auction houses, and sometimes investors looking to stash their wealth in something shiny that fits in a coin flip. This particular coin made headlines when it sold at auction for a whopping $1.5 million. And ever since then, collectors and regular folks have been tearing through their coin jars hoping to strike gold, or in this case, silver nickel alloy. Let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a small fortune. It was around 2019. I was in the middle of cleaning out my truck, and I had this handful of quarters I was about to dump into a Coinstar machine. I wasn't even gonna look through them. I was tired, it was hot, and I just wanted to get some gas and go home. But as I'm pouring them into the machine, this older guy behind me taps me on the shoulder and says, "You check those for silver?" He gives me this look, kind of squinty, and says, "Might want to look at the Ellis Island one. Some of 'em are worth a mint." So I pull it back out, take it home, and wouldn't you know, it wasn't the $1 million version, but it was a double die. I ended up selling it for a cool $800 online. Not bad for something I almost fed to the coin goblin. Don't ignore your change. Because even if you don't hit the $1 million jackpot, there's still money to be made. And I mean, who doesn't like making money from pocket change? How to spot the 2017 P. Ellis Island quarter worth big money? Look closely at the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." If the letters look fuzzy or doubled, you might be onto something. If the design isn't quite centered or there's part of the coin missing due to a misstrike, bingo. If it looks like it was minted yesterday and has no scratches, dings, or wear, you might have a mint state beauty. Some of these have a mirror-like finish that wasn't intended. That's money, my friend. Use a magnifying glass, good lighting, and a bit of patience. And for the love of all things numismatic, do not clean your coins. That ruins the value faster than putting ketchup on a fine steak. If you think you've got a winner, take it to a professional coin dealer for verification. Better yet, get it graded by a company like PCGS or NGC. A slabbed, graded coin with documentation will fetch way more than an unverified one. Then you can list it at auction, go through a coin show, or even sell it through a dealer who specializes in rare coins. Trust me, people are out there looking for exactly what you might have. The 2017 P. Ellis Island quarter might just be hiding in plain sight, in your pocket, your junk drawer, or that giant glass jar you keep on top of the fridge. If you've got the right version with a rare error or mint condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth up to $1.5 million. That's enough to pay off your house, buy a new car, take that trip you've been dreaming about, and still have enough left over for an outrageous number of tacos. So here's what I want you to do. Right after this video, go check your change. Look through your quarters. And if you find a 2017 P. Ellis Island quarter, give it a second glance. Who knows, you might have the next big thing. And if you enjoyed this video and you want more tips, tricks, and straight-up treasure hunting strategies for finding coins worth real money, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out. I'm dropping coin knowledge every week that just might help you cash in big. Alright folks, that's all I've got for today. Stay curious, stay lucky, and keep hunting those coins. You never know what kind of treasure is hiding in your pocket.